Alright, I don't want to make this video, but eventually I was going to have to say it, or at least go on a rant about it. So here we are. Before this video starts, I want to say something. I do not hate the Eagles as a team. I think they're very talented. I think that they're a bit overhyped. But I do not hate the Eagles team. Now, their fans, on the other hand, I think the Eagles fans are a little bit one-sided. See, I know Cowboys fans are the same way, but I think I'm one of I'm a very unbiased fan. I'm a casual fan of the game, but I am a diehard Cowboys fan. But I can say, Eagles are a very talented team. There's two people I don't think that are as talented as the media hypes up as. The first one, I think the Eagles fans can agree, is Alshon Jeffrey. He's not very good at football, but their organization thinks he can still be number one. And then I don't think Carson Wentz is as good as people think. But here's this. Before the Eagles fans click off the video and dislike, Dak and Carson Wentz, their skill levels are close. They are very, very similar. Carson Wentz isn't 100 times better than Dak, and Dak Prescott isn't 100 times better than Carson Wentz. In my opinion, Dak is a little bit better. He proved a lot more with a lot less this year. 2017, Carson Wentz had a better year. 2018, Carson Wentz had a better year. 2016 and 19, Dak had a better year. People said the Eagles receivers Carson Wentz didn't have receivers. And they had a lot of drops. The Cowboys led the league in drops with a more talented receiving core. And, I mean, in all of Dak's interceptions, I saw this thing, 6 of them. Oh, no. It was 9. 9 of his 11. No, I'm sorry. It was 8. I'm trying to think. It was 8 of his 11 interceptions that were off drops. I'm sure Carson Wentz's numbers are up there as well. But that is a lot. And then the other 3 were off Hail Marys. There was only one, I think, that was listed like it was an arrogant throw. I'm sure Carson Wentz's interception like that is very, very similar. In my opinion, I think Dak is just a little bit better than Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz isn't 100 times better. Dak isn't 100 times better. It's very close. And each team is in a situation where they have talented teams around them. And if the quarterback makes one mistake, the game is over, either in their favor or not. That's with a lot of teams, but Dak and Wentz are still so young and so unproven that it's hard to say that they can help their team win. When it's depending on their play, they either win or lose. It's like Zeke don't lose them games. Zeke is going to win them games. Amari Cooper don't lose them games. He helps them win games. But Dak is in a situation where he can help win or make them lose. And same with Carson Wentz. But anyway, like I said, I want to get that out of the way. I don't think Carson Wentz is as good as media. I don't think Dak is as bad as the media hates him for. But the Cowboys receivers led the league in drops. And we had a tight end. And we had Jason Garrett. We had a tight end and Jason Witten that I was so happy to have him on the team. But we were using him as a number 1 when we shouldn't have. Blake Jarwin, when he touches the ball, he makes big plays. And I'm glad we gave him an extension. And then the next part for these Eagles fans that really irritated me was the draft. And if we get CeeDee Lamb, we got to chat up. CeeDee Lamb's the best receiver in the draft. He's going to really help us. CeeDee Lamb, yeah, we got to get CeeDee Lamb. And then the Cowboys take him. They're all mad. Oh, man, they got a receiver. They select Jalen Reagor, who they were all, before the draft started, the Eagles were like, if we get Jalen Reagor, it's over. If they select Jalen Reagor, he is not good. Now they get him like, oh, he's better than CeeDee Lamb. We got to win in the draft. And then they get all salty when these NFL media members give the Cowboys an A+. We took the best receiver in the draft. And then every single Eagles fan on this platform and everybody, even all the Eagles main hype, but Dan Orlovsky, that retard, I don't know why he's talking on NFL Network and all those guys. He's like, oh, Jalen Reagor sucks. If we take him, he's just a Nelson Aguilar 2.0. And then they take him 21st. And then the whole media is hyping up Jalen Reagor. He did not produce. How is he better than CeeDee Lamb? I don't understand that about the Eagles fans. Oh, whoever the Eagles get, they're instantly better than the Cowboys. That don't work that way. After day one, that's all it was. And then we proved them wrong again. We took their corner, who they wanted, and Trevon Diggs, and then they take a quarterback. Everyone hated the Jalen Hurts pick, but now 2 days later, it was worth it. We didn't need Trevon Diggs. Yes, you did. Every single fan of the Eagles that was live streaming wanted Trevon Diggs. Or every media member wanted Trevon Diggs in the second. And we take him. So, what do you mean? And then you guys had a terrible back end of the draft. And we had every round we had some sort of a steal. And we got an A+ by every media member. And the Eagles fans have a way to turn it in their perspective. So now it's like, oh, Jalen Reagor, this. The Eagles have a very talented receiving corps, in my opinion, when healthy. Jalen Reagor does not help them. He is exactly what the Eagles fans said they were before the draft. A Nelson Aguilar 2.0. In college, major drop issues. What was Nelson Aguilar's skills? He's coming out of the draft, he was a decent route runner, very good speed, and he could go up and get the football. And he's like a possession receiver. What was Jalen Reagor's? Speed, he could take the top off the defense. He could go up and get the football in possession. And he can run some of the routes. Oh, but what was his biggest flaw? He can't catch the football consistently. He has, I think, in his conference, he was second in drops. And he had 500 yards and like 6 touchdowns this year, right? And everyone says it's their quarterback. It's their quarterback. But if a quarterback doesn't have weapons to throw to, it's their fault too. You can't blame a receiver because he doesn't produce for having a bad quarterback. Because the quarterback gets blamed if the receiver doesn't produce. So why should a quarterback get blamed if the receiver doesn't produce? It just don't make sense. But anyway, with that being said, Alshon Jeffrey's a bum. Deshaun Jackson is good, but he can't stay healthy. Arcega-Whiteside, that was a bad move in 2018. I'm sorry. But other than that, love the Eagles, hate the fans. That's just delusion. I mean, that is just, you can't want a player. Oh, the Cowboys took him. I hate him. Oh, we got a better player anyway. When before the draft you said that guy's terrible. You guys got to turn the narrative. Yes, it's good for a fan base to believe in the prospect you are playing. If you don't, or you guys drafted, or is going to be playing for your franchise a long time. If you don't believe in someone, it's not going to work out. 100% agree. 100% agree. You have to believe in the prospect that's on your team for it to really work out. But you can't just, flip your perspective. Because, deep down inside, you guys still want CeeDee Lamb. You guys still know CeeDee Lamb is the better receiver. But you guys do not want to admit that. When we had a terrible 2018 draft last year, we lost that draft completely. We probably had the worst draft last year, and we bounced back. None of us hated on the Eagles for having a really good draft last year. That draft flopped, just like ours did. And this year, we had a really good draft, and the Eagles had a really bad draft. But here's where it gets worse on draft day. So news broke out, late in first round that Dak Prescott's brother passed away. And, Cowboys fans, we're like, hey, everyone, let's stop talk about the Dak negotiations. Every Cowboys fan's like, you know what, the next, couple weeks, let's not complain about Dak not signing the extension. Jerry Jones even said he's not going to contact Dak about contract negotiations for a little while. Everyone wants Dak to get signed, and with this being delayed a couple of weeks, it's always kind of nerve-wracking because in just a couple of weeks, really, it'll be July 15th, and he may have to play the season under the franchise tag. But we all understood, hey, let's just take it off. And Eagles fans still wanted to hate on Dak. If Carson Wentz's family member passed away, I guarantee every Cowboys fan would have done the same thing, like what he did with Dak, or anything like that. And the Eagles, he deleted his Twitter, by the way, and he deleted his Instagram because of his comments. He knew he was wrong, but he got to point out that he wanted. He said, if I can find it, I'll post it up on the screen, but I probably won't, and I'll probably be too lazy to put it up or edit this video properly. But he was like, I hope Dak Dak's brother passing is a wake-up call for Dak to sign his contract. Maybe he would have had money to help his brother out. That was uncalled for. And then there was another one. Even Dak's brother didn't think Dak was good at football. And then there was just so many. It's like that. I mean, just because you hate the guy doesn't mean you say stuff like that. And at the end of the day, everyone's a football player and everyone has, their opinions. And that goes back to the same thing. Because if Eagles would have had a family member pass away, or Carson Wentz said the same thing, and the Cowboys would have said something, it would have been the end of the world. But that even goes back when Romo would get injured with the Cowboys. All the Eagles fans, all they wanted to do was make fun of Tony Romo and the Cowboys for not being able to win the playoffs and all that stuff, right? Then all of a sudden, Carson Wentz gets hurt, and we say one thing. Oh, Carson Wentz injured. That's not something to make fun of. That's not something to make fun of. But you did it for a whole decade with Romo. It just don't make sense. It honestly don't. And we'll prove everybody wrong. We win the division. We'll go 10-6. I'm not saying that's good, but we'll win the division. And the Eagles and Carson Wentz will be sitting at home. And Carson Wentz won't be doing much I'd say he won't be playing in December. Late December, early January. He won't. Carson Wentz is the most overrated quarterback. You could say Dak's overrated. In my opinion, he's underrated. He's not a lot better than Carson Wentz, but he is better than Carson Wentz. So, we'll see. That's my rant for today. There's more.